everything we get from these tariffs. And what are we doing with that? Are we using it to cut taxes like Pierre Poilievre? No.
Appears the biggest risk to Mark Carney's campaign is himself. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today, Mark Carney insults Doug Ford and insults Danielle Smith while at a rally in Victoria. Let's jump into this. First up, we got a new poll. Come on, guys. 46 to 34. What are your questions? That's the key question here. What are you asking people? These pollsters are consistently off online polls. Why is that? I mean, Marty up north did this one here, which has 33,000 votes. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of more right-leaning people on Twitter. There are some liberal followers on here, but I mean, what do you make of that? 33,000. That's a lot of people. If you compare how many votes are on here to this one here, sample size 1,000. Thought this was pretty funny. They're using old Trudeau signs. You can see Team Trudeau. They won't even print new signs. This is the Liberals here. This is what you'd expect from them. Got an update of the guy who barricaded himself in Parliament. 31-year-old man who was a repeat offender. Are we surprised? Breach of probation ×2, public mischief, uttering threats and causing property damage. He will appear in court today. Investigation continues. We don't know much more. Crazy guy. Why are they protecting his identity? Don't know. Next up, we've got Mark Carney in Victoria. They do some First Nations posturing, first recognizing the land, and then he holds up some wooden carving.
Kleko matuni hawia for mamuk in your ha-ha-hothi.
Then he pulls out this First Nations carving.
We have started in the right way.
This posturing is pathetic. There's still communities, 33 communities, First Nations communities, that don't have drinking water, proper drinking water that they don't have to boil. It's been 10 years and the Liberals still can't solve that problem. They can give away $100 million to Gaza, but they can't solve First Nations drinking water in Canada. If they actually cared, they would have solved the problem.
Amazing. There is the ghost of Catherine McKenna in the room. This is also
he is such a weirdo.
Very good sign. I want to start with a question. Who's ready to stand up for Canada with me?
It's not you, man. You've been compromised. You're not working for Canada. And showing it here, we have long-term drinking water advisories here. So 35 long-term drinking water advisories. Still 33 communities that the Liberal Party has neglected. Instead, they send their money everywhere else, but actually helping people in Canada, like the First Nations, who should have clean drinking water. On this episode of Far Off Ripoff, we have this example here, $40,000 getting sent to Bali, right here, coastal villages of Bali, to provide clean drinking water. So our government is spending money to give clean water to people in Bali, but not the First Nations of Canada. We've got $39,000 being sent to Bhutan, ensuring water security through spring shed management for sustainable supply of water. The Liberals seem to think the people of Bhutan having clean water is more important than our First Nations. We've got $30,000 going to Samoa for addressing rural drinking water quality. We've got $48,000 going to Tonga to replace a diesel water pumping system with a solar water pumping system. We've got $5 million going to sustainable water management in Dubai, with the expected outcome here to manage and sustain Iraq's water resources. But yet they can't provide clean drinking water to the First Nations? These people don't know what's going on. It's like watching a train wreck and you just can't look away, but you know the train's coming.
And who is ready? Who is ready? I see a lot of red. Not everyone's in red. It's okay. Hopefully by the end, at least metaphorically. Who is ready?
This guy's wearing blue. Like, Mark, come on. Listen to more of this dangerous rhetoric coming out of Mark Carney.
You know, I was speaking earlier today with the UK Prime Minister Starmer. He gave me a call. He wanted to speak because he has come to the same conclusion that we came to a few months ago. Yeah, finally. Yeah. Well, it's okay. Better late than never. Better late than never. But the world has changed. And that our old relationship with the United States is over. Is over. And
why are these people cheering? Canada doesn't survive without America. Do you not get that? So we got it right here. Carney, Starmer discuss deeper trade ties in response to Trump's tariff situation. Here they are wanting to push net zero on all of us. Carney spoke with counterpart on Sunday, United Kingdom. The last country we want to be more alike is the UK.
And the world that I lived through my whole life, open global trading system, sponsored by the United States. That world is over. Okay? This is a big change. These are a big series of changes. And I was reminded, of another UK Prime Minister, Winston Churchill. And Winston Churchill, this is a comment on Ottawa, it's going to have to change. Lots of things have to change in Ottawa, which is part of what the election's about. But Winston Churchill, there is the most famous photograph of Winston Churchill. But this photo was taken at a moment that Churchill described as the hinge of fate. It was at the end of 1941. The Allies had had a string of losses, culminating in Pearl Harbor. The world's future hung in the balance. And actually, from that point, things changed. So it was a hinge moment. We are living through a hinge moment. We are living through a hinge moment. We're not coming together, unfortunately, with our American ally. It's a hinge moment.
Yeah, because you're pushing them away. The only thing that liberals have done is just insult Donald Trump. Starting with 2 months of Justin Trudeau running his mouth, Mark Carney has taken over here.
Caused by our American ally, but we are coming together as Canadians.
This guy is unbelievable. How he's duped these people into believing the nonsense coming out of his mouth is beyond me.
Our response to these series of tariffs, and if you saw the headlines and over the weekend, more coming on our softwood lumber, one of our biggest exports, livelihoods being attacked again by the Americans. Our response is to fight and protect and to build.
It's just as empty words from Mark Carney every single time.
We are fighting the Americans everywhere they understand. We're fighting the Americans in the pocketbook. We have retaliatory tariffs on them.
Yeah, that hurts our people, Mark. That hurts Canadians. That's a tax on our people.
Hit them again in the auto sector. We're fighting them.
Once again, that hurts our auto sector, Mark.
On Fox News, which is what they understand. We're sending Doug Ford onto Fox News to show them that we're not messing.
Why is he insulting Doug Ford? Why is he mocking him?
We're sending Doug Ford onto Fox News to show them that we're not messing around up here. And we're going to send Danielle next. Maybe we won't send her. We'll send Danielle. No, maybe we won't. We won't send Danielle.
What is wrong with this guy? He's insulting Doug Ford and Danielle Smith publicly during this event in Victoria. This is unbelievable. I can't even fathom what I'm watching here. He's mocking Doug Ford and Danielle Smith for going down to America and trying to smooth things over so Canadians don't get obliterated.
Keep her. No, that's a bad idea. Forget. Strike that. Just ignore that back there. So we got Doug, and we're fighting them in the courts, And whether
someone wants to argue Doug Ford went and did it, he struck up this conflict, then quickly had the snap election to stay in power. Sure, he's a politician. That's why he did it. Whatever the way you want to slice it, though, Doug Ford went down there. He was vouching for Canadians, whether you like the guy or not, whether it's all political or not. Why would Mark Carney then mock Doug Ford? How does that help his campaign? I don't understand this guy. Obviously, he's not going to get the vote from Alberta, but still, a terrible look, insulting Danielle Smith. Alberta pays the bills in Canada, Carney. There's a referendum coming. They've planned a referendum for right after the election. Alberta will separate from Canada if all these people vote for Mark Carney. There, I said it. And if they don't separate, say the vote is not quite enough, give it another year and Alberta will eventually separate. Albertans have been stomped on and being kicked around for years, for decades in Canada. Enough is enough. And you know what happens if Alberta separates? Saskatchewan's going to go, hey, can we come with you? And there's a big uprising here in British Columbia. If we can eventually get rid of David Eby, considering our election seems like it was compromised, ballots being stuffed in people's garages, and the Conservatives were leading in the polls, then suddenly out of nowhere, David Eby leads and wins just barely. BC might follow. You might lose the entire West. And then what? Canada's screwed. Quebec doesn't want to build pipelines. They don't want to drill. They don't want to make real money in Quebec. Who's going to pay the bills? And just jumping out for a second, this really paints the question, what is Mark Carney's agenda? Is it to tank Canada's economy so China can step in and buy everything up? Is it to tank Canada's economy so America can come and buy up everything? Canadians need to take a serious look at what's going on here. It's not some banker guy who's just here to save us. This guy was sitting on the boards of all the biggest companies. He's stepping down to be prime minister. minister, doing it just to help us out. He does not care about helping us out. He called Western society morally rotten in his book. Read his book and tell me you want to vote for this guy. I'm not talking out of my butt. As you can see here, we've got Marty up north saying this. I can't reveal the date of the speakers just yet. The list is impressive, but this is going to be something you won't want to miss. So he's talking about this referendum rally in Alberta that's being planned for just after the election. Regardless of the outcome of the election, it's been very clear the last 3 months, the rest of Canada has no intention of giving Alberta a fair representation in Confederation. If Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives win, things are going to change. I think it's fine you schedule it after the election, wait until after the election and see what happens. Mark Carney wins, this is going ahead. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot of support for this referendum. I'm done my rant now, let's continue.
And we will win. We will win eventually on those fronts, and that's what this election is about.
And that starts by insulting and mocking two premiers of Canada that happen to have the largest economies in Canada. That's how he's starting to build Canada up. Canada's strong, right? Just insult the premiers you don't like. Notice how he mocked and insult two conservative premiers. There's no Susan Holt in there, Andrew Feary, David Eby, no?
And we are protecting our workers that are affected by these tariffs. So we are
by putting tariffs on, which then hurts their jobs. Congrats.
taking everything we get from these tariffs. And what are we doing with that? Are we using it to cut taxes like Pierre Poilievre? No.
You're sending them to Gaza. You guys just sent $100 million. You just sent 84 some odd million dollars to Al Qaeda. That's what you're doing with our money.
Are we buying a few military toys like Pierre Poilievre? No, we are giving it. We are not giving it. We are giving it. We are giving it.
You're giving it? Those words there reek of a Freudian slip. Is he going to be giving our money to people like this? His buddy at Telesat Lightspeed. Remember this clip here where they're grilling for champagne on this $2 billion interest-free loan. Anyone else want to have an interest-free loan for, what was it, 6 or 7 years? $2 billion? You could get stinking rich off of that just by doing some basic investing.
Of 4.7% plus the overnight repo rate. That's about a 10% interest rate at current rate. That's over $1 billion of interest in the first 5 years that you're forgiving to Telesat.
Exactly. $1 billion of interest.
And you said you'll get goods in kind.
There are no goods in kind. Mark Carney loves doing philanthropic endeavors with certain countries and companies to only come back later asking for something with his hand open. He's clearly doing it with China. He does it with world leaders. That's how Mark Carney operates.
No, we are giving it. We are not giving it. We are using it to support our workers and their businesses.
No, you're not. Just bringing it up here off of my own video. You can see this is my own video. Back on March 12th, 84 million aid from Canadian taxpayers to Syria's new Al Qaeda government. So they were overthrown, and the new government is essentially it's an arm, a wing of Al Qaeda. So in this video, I go over all that stuff here. I show all the bad stuff they do, etc. You can see right here Omar's account, former Minister of Transport, Member of Parliament, etc., Liberal, 84 million to the Syrian people to help build a stable country. They dish out our tax dollars all around the world and don't help Canadians. They haven't been helping us for years. Why would we expect them to help us now?
And we've taken another lesson, and I'm standing here next to Will. But one of Will's many expertise, is about the Arctic and protecting our Arctic. And so we are putting year-round troops now. Unbelievably, we didn't have this. Year-round troops, about time exactly, in the Arctic, 365 days a year, in the air, on the ground, in the water.
That's interesting. Why did Justin Trudeau allow the Chinese Communist government to send their troops, which was reported that there were spies as well that came with them, to train with Canadian troops in the Arctic? Would you like to answer that one, Carney? Why Ottawa let Chinese forces attend a military sciences meet in Canada? Also got this one from Daily Mail. Justin Trudeau invited China's People Liberation Army to train troops in Canada, according to top secret documents published by Canadian conservative news site, which claims they were sending spies, not just soldiers, to train. There's a lot of loose ends here that are starting to get tied up with Mark Carney's actions, and a lot of time leaving just even more suspicion of what's going on.
The big thing we're going to do is build. This is a fundamentally...
Oh, please. You guys have said this for 10 years. Justin Trudeau brought out his Housing Accelerator program, and leaked documents came out showing that they knew it wasn't going to work. They still did it anyways, trying to dupe Canadians.
We are going to build ourselves into a... Don't take it away. I was just saying clean. That was Danielle. She was coming in. A clean energy superpower.
This guy's doing one heck of a job of insulting Danielle Smith and Doug Ford in a speech here. You think they're going to work with you, dude? This guy, I can't believe this speech. This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He must have had some flare-ups of his volcanic temper after hearing Danielle Smith's demands for getting rid of his net zero, his baby, his life goal. That's coming out full force here today.
We're going to build new trade corridors with reliable trading partners.
Oh, yeah? So America's out now, although our country crumbles if we don't keep trading with America?
Okay. Yeah. And we are going to build millions and millions of homes. We have to double.
It's not going to happen. It just won't. And all the houses they do build, I wonder which company's going to be involved. I wonder if Brookfield would be involved in this. What do you think, Mark? Are they going to be involved? Would this be a conflict of interest with your assets, Mark? Oh yeah, you're not going to tell us what your assets are. No, sorry about that. Pierre Poilievre came out and showed what stocks he had. He sold them all. Mark Carney, though, he's going to keep Canadians in the dark. This should be a major red flag for every single person wearing red in this room.
Double the rate of home building in this country for young people. We announced the most ambitious home building plan we announced 5 days ago, the most ambitious plan since Winston Churchill was Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
Since Justin Trudeau did it a couple years ago. We heard the same stuff years ago. You guys haven't even announced how you're going to do it. You can bring in workers from around the world. Where are these people coming from? You're going to snap your fingers? You're going to throw money at bureaucrats and suddenly houses get built. You need home builders to build houses, Mark. This guy is full of crap. With all the rhetoric coming out of Mark Carney's mouth, I'd say give him a max 3 months before he breaks ethics laws. Now, speaking of liberals breaking ethics laws, we got Vesper Digital posting this one here. This just about sums it up.
Another liberal was found to have broken ethics rules this past week.
And those people are putting us all at risk.
We invoked the act because it was the advice of nonpartisan professional law enforcement.
Did you ask the government or representatives for the invocation of the Emergencies Act?
No, there was never a question of requesting the Emergency Act.
And so you never asked for it?
No, we actually reached out to various police agencies.
And those people are putting us all at risk.
Do we have any evidence, Minister, that the ArriveCan app is suppressing cross-border travel and tourism?
There is no evidence, Ms. Katrakis.
Officials that appear to see the uptake statistics that the government is seeing for the ArriveCan app. With the contact time that a border officer is spending with a traveler, certainly that has gone up quite substantially, and border infrastructure wasn't designed for those types of wait times.
Another Liberal cabinet minister was called out today for breaking federal ethics rules by awarding 2 contracts to a friend she has known for nearly 20 years.
Let me be clear in saying once again that I made a mistake. My office contracted services from someone close to me, a friend, but because of our friendship, I should have recused myself from any and all dealings.
Those people are putting us all at risk.
Rajvinder Singh Grewal is accused of failing to report millions of dollars in personal loans, Bev, to the ethics commissioner. Also, the Mounties are saying he solicited loans for his own benefit by using his public office, and also say that he administered his constituency office budget for his own benefit.
And a Liberal member of Parliament was caught without clothes during the virtual House of Commons today.
Another Liberal, another apology.
I am very sorry.
The latest from Cpac MP Greg Fergus, found to have violated the Conflict of Interest Act.
Trudeau's former finance minister, Bill Morneau, was found to have violated the Conflict of Interest law after Dion determined We Charity founders Craig and Mark Kielburger were legally friends of Morneau's, and Morneau's actions were judged to have advanced their interests.
Why do these ethical breaches keep happening? And
first of all,
and those people are putting us all at risk.
9 corrupt actions by Liberals in 2 minutes and 48 seconds. By my calculation, she'd be able to cover their entire gamut of felonious malfeasance in approximately a 40-minute video. That's just a taste of it. There's so many. With the Liberals already clocking in record amount of ethics breaches in their last 10 years in their reign of power, what is it going to take to convince Liberal supporters that this banker, this megalomaniac, is going to be any better or any different than Justin Trudeau?